Good morning, Lowlives. Welcome to your Friday. It's your boy Rhino here to bring you another episode, milestone episode, the Lowlife Podcast. The only podcast, the premier podcast by Lowlives for Lowlives. Probably wondering who this scary-looking gentleman here is sitting next to me. I know you've been chomping at the bit to find out, so we're not going to fuck around. We're going to get right into it. We're going to reveal the next co-host of the Lowlife Podcast.
Show yourself surprise, motherfuckers. I knew it. It's me, baby.
El Dano, No Luck Paintworks, to the uninitiated.
What's up?
It was definitely far and away the number one choice for most people. It was the first time around when I ran that little campaign. It was No Luck Paintworks is number one. So it's what the people want. I don't know if they want it to happen. I think one guy actually said if it's not No Luck Paintworks, I'm not going to listen.
No, I don't.
Yeah, he did say that.
I don't know. I think it's more so it's just probably the most logical conclusion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we talk about you every week.
Yeah. Well, here I am, motherfuckers.
Stuck with them now.
Yeah.
But let's just talk about a couple of the suggestions that people had, because quite interesting. So obviously, No Luck Paintwork was number one. Tight. They thought we maybe were pulling the old switcheroo.
Mm-hmm.
Got plenty of those. But the second next most guessed name was Chris from Oxford Coach Choppers.
It's a silhouette, bro.
Yeah. There was a guy that actually DM'd me and he said, bro, it's Oxford Coach Choppers. You can tell by the silhouette. We had some real gumshoes, internet sleuths. There was another guy that he went back in the catalog and found a show that you were on where I said in the show notes that you were the unofficial third co-host.
Right.
And he was like, he got it. But he had to do some digging, dude. It was like, that was like last year. It was a long time ago. It was the garage night with you and Kevin.
Right. I didn't even.
Yeah. Where we met Nubs the goat.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up right now just some of the other names, because I'm not going to say what Rodney Nenock put in, because he suggested like 40 fucking random names. But yeah, it was Dan, Chris is number two, which again, Chris, you would make an excellent co-host. So you definitely got the stash for it. But you're definitely too busy with the Built Wells People's Champ. The other one that was interesting, a lady Lowlife, Angel Claw. I think I threw people off last week when I was like,
You did.
It could be a lady. But that would be a great co-host as well. And in fact, she just shout out to Angel Claw. She listened to the last episode and she posted over on TikTok some very nice words about Loctite and I. So Angel Claw, we do appreciate the fuck out of you. And we will be doing another episode with her and the infamous Chicken. So, Lex the Eclipse, my boy. In fact, I talked to Lex and he's going to be coming on the show. He hasn't done a show yet. And he's my boy. So we're going to be doing that. Pizza Overlord. That would be a good one too.
Dude, if he could be a podcast host the way he makes memes.
Oh yeah. He's funny. Shovel Sam with no Instagram. You would be great, but it would be a long distance one. We couldn't do the in-person stuff.
For sure. Maybe Sam.
Yes. I haven't talked to him in a while. Oh, wait, it's not Shovel Sam anymore. It's Pan Sam. Yep. He's a Panhead guy now.
Put some respect on his name.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And he rides the shit out of that fucking thing, too.
He does.
Let's see. What was
it? For Fish. There was a few for Maddie, I think.
Oh, yeah. Fish Tank Whiskey. Chopper Fisher. Grease's Garage. That would be weird to rotate him back in, but I definitely do a podcast with him. This one I just love so much. Kick Me Customs, Matt said Table Talk Pies. That's funny.
Oh yeah.
Being a pie guy, that's pie humor. Yeah, ton of, people that guessed are like multiples. It's like Chopper Fisher, No Luck Paint Works, Fish Tank Whiskey, all would have been great. Yeah, dude, Bump Shop Diaries, dude, like fucking 100 different names.
I missed all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he came in hot with some tomfoolery, some shenanigans. Ice Cube a few times, honorable mention. Big Truth, I wish. Burnt Up Wood Burning, that would have been cool as fuck. Dewey Things, that was interesting. But yeah, actually, I've been talking a lot to Dewey Things. We're gonna get a lot of these people on the show. They would all make excellent co-hosts, but me and Dan got that chemistry. That's right. No bromo, but we got the chemistry. We've just been friends for a long time. We're into the same shit, and it was just a natural choice. And I'll let Dan talk about how it all came about. But for me, when I was talking to Loctite about, like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna end the show, or like, I was at the time I was thinking, and I'll get into this a little bit later in the show, but I have an idea for a spinoff show that I was going to do. I'm all prepped, and I was at that point ready to do a second show. But ultimately I decided that, well, there's enough left to do on this show, and the community is so great that I can carry the torch if you want to step away. And we had that discussion, and when I said, well, I'll continue the show if Dan does it with me. And there wasn't any other choice. It was just, that was the only other person that I could think of that would click, So yeah, Loctite was very excited about that. His ears perked up, and we got Dan immediately on the phone. We were just about to record, and Dan's like, "What's going on?"
Yeah. I thought you were recording.
You thought you thought you were on the show, and we're talking about it, and then I had asked you, and you were like, should we go off air?
Yeah, you said something, and I was like, you guys are really doing this live on the fucking podcast right now, dude? Yeah, that caught me by surprise. Loctite hit me up randomly. I'm like, just finishing up dinner with the family or whatever, and he's like, hey, can you take a quick phone call, FaceTime or whatever? So yeah, it was you guys, and it's not what I was expecting. They called me initially, and they were like, all right, this is kind of where we're leaning. Loctite was kind of saying his piece or whatever about, where he was at with it and whatever, and that you wanted to keep going. And then you're like, I'd like to keep going with you. And I was like, yeah, it's not something that I ever considered. It's not something that I ever thought I would do. Being as close to you guys and being on the show a few times like that has been awesome. I love it. I respect it. So when you asked me to do it, it took a few days for me to think about it and talk to you.
It wasn't an immediate yes.
Yeah, it wasn't an immediate. Honestly, it was an immediate no.
And that's what me and Loctite were taking up, because we were like, it was like a Hail Mary kind of thing.
I mean, it took some serious thought for me, and not because I wouldn't be thrilled to be a co-host of this show. That's how I know this dude. That's how I know most of my friends, is because of the show. So it's weird that you and I are carrying the torch now, but yeah, after some thinking and whatever, I'm going to be on as much as possible. It's not an every single week thing per se. A lot of irons in the fire, as we all do. So once some of those irons are coming out of the fire, maybe we'll increase frequency and stuff. But either way, I'm going to do as many as I can. I'm in this area for work a lot. I swing by rhinos. That's another thing that I wanted to do was, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it in person as much as possible. Obviously, if there's a huge nor'easter or something, I'm not going to drive to Mount Rhino.
We won't be able to get it.
Yeah, exactly. Even in my Silverado, for real. But yeah, so, but yeah, we're going to do as much as possible together. I'm going to be around for all this stuff, and I'm in it 100%, whether or not I'm on every single episode or not. I think it's going to bring a cool dynamic. I think me not being on every single episode is going to open up some stuff that we're going to talk about. I think it'd be a cool shift. I'm really excited to give this a shot. I really am. I'm not usually much of a talker, so unless I'm like real comfortable. So, which is really good, because the stuff that we're going to be talking about on here is stuff that I'm more familiar with, that I have passion for, and I can talk forever about. So talk to interesting people. I have other things that I am interested in besides choppers. I've been into hardcore and punk. I've been in bands and stuff like that for a real long time. And I still go to shows and play music and stuff. So I'm blessed to have friends that are in that realm, that are in bands, that are doing good things, big things. Outside of music, I have some other contacts with some other stuff. So we're gonna bring a little bit of different stuff in here, but we're gonna keep it low. It's all low. It's all hood rap shit. But yeah, I'm really excited. We're here on the backs of giants.
Yeah, it's a weird place to be. Like, obviously the Godfathers, Grease and Loctite, they founded it. They kept it going for almost 5 years. And then there was like that catalyst where Grease was going on to do his own thing. Loctite decided he was in a similar position, right? Because he was like, all right, are we going to shut the show down? And it was like an out of the blue thing where he was over here. He was working at the roofing company at that time, and he was assessing the roof because it's a piece of dog shit. And every time the wind blows, like fucking shingles come off. It's like curling up. It's the worst roof you've ever seen. But anyways, he was over here for business, and we were just shooting the breeze. And I was like, hey, if you need any help with because I'm good with electronics and shit. Like if you need any help with because I know he's not a computer guy, an audio guy. So I just offered my help. I was like, you need help? He's like, yeah, sure. You want to be the fucking co-host? And I was like, oh shit. But at the time it was a pretty easy yes for me because I was like, oh, well, I was getting ready to launch my own other separate podcast that I was passionate about. So, actually I was talking to him about it, that day. But, now flash forward, you have it's a different dynamic now because of course Loctite was the founder. He was the one that came up with the concept of what it was, and he was still there. So for me, it was a very easy transition. It's like, all right, we got a formula. What's up, motherfuckers? This is what we got. We already have people that listen to it, and I just kind of shoehorned myself in, and I was like, I just make the best of it. If people fucking hate me, it's whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Then I'll do something else, But I always had an interest in, I'm a very quiet person. If you've ever seen me in public, I'm not outgoing, like an outgoing guy. Very, very quiet. I'm a good listener though. Not great conversationalist, but if you give me a platform, I won't shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm the same at work. Like if I'm like running a meeting or something, like I'll just fucking talk to whoever goddamn listen to me. So, but yeah, now we're at a point where, like me and Latte kind of had a reset button pressed, like October of last year. It was actually end of September where we got canceled, and we lost all this shit, and we kind of tried to rebuild it up. And we, at that point, were like, we should start taking this in a different direction. And it was hard to get out of the formula of the Lowlife Chopper podcast because it's like, it works, you know what I mean? And it's like, we're chopper guys. So it's like, that's the stuff we're interested in. So now the challenge for us, is going to be like, what else can we bring in from the lowlife culture? Because I'm a chopper guy, but I don't hate on other motorcycles. I love motorcycles, dude. I ride a fucking Softail and I think sick. I like seeing, I'm not a car guy, but I love fucking cars and shit, like hot rods and fucking custom. old vintage custom shit. But I just don't, like personally, for me, I only have enough. I have like this much time and this much money, which only allows for one fucking. Right. So I'm choosing choppers and I'm laser focused on that, and I always will be. But I appreciate all the other shit. And I guess our challenge or our call to action here now is with Dan, fresh ideas, fresh face. Let's broaden the horizon even more. We dipped our toes into it a little bit, and it was really great. Like we talked about it last week. We talked to Benny. He owns a dive bar. I want to talk to more of those people, and I definitely want to talk to more musicians, more creative people, and just really just grow the community. So the weirdest part now is basically you have fans running the show, right? So Grease and Latte both left. that show is essentially gone, right? And now it's, what are we going to do with what we have? I don't know. Like people might just be like, oh, it's not about choppers, fuck off.
Right.
And that's fine.
But it's not about choppers.
Oh yeah, we definitely have chopper guys on the docket.
Yeah, and we are still building choppers. You know what I mean? Like choppers are still 98% of my bandwidth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I came into choppers through music. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, it's all adjacent shit. You know what I mean? If you're into choppers, you probably are into tattoos, graffiti, or committing casual crime, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit like that. It's all kind of in the same realm. So why not talk about it? It's not about choppers. It's still gonna be choppers.
Yeah, we're not going to go out of our way to talk about it. I want to talk about choppers. There's a ton of people. I mean, we were just going through. So first of all, thank you everybody that like reached out and was like, hey, I'd love to do a show. They were bummed that Locktail was leaving, but relieved that the show would continue because it's such a big part of people's Fridays. In fact, even myself to this day, I still listen to it every week. Like I edit the fucking thing. I listen to it like 12 times when I'm editing it.
Shit.
And then I listen to it when it's all complete and then I publish it, and then on Friday I pump.
I hadn't thought about it.
I listen to it.
I hadn't thought about that part.
Oh yeah.
Now that I'm on it, because truthfully, I don't think I've listened to an entire episode that I think eventually every time.
Really?
I know what I said. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, you get that initial like, oh, that's what my voice sounds like, huh?
Yeah, you're gonna get that fucking. The good thing for me is since I edit it, I can be like, oh, that was dumb, cut that out.
Yeah.
And then, like I can cut up and edit my own shit out. But you'll just have to trust me that I'll cut your dumb shit out.
It's understood.
But, yeah, it will be weird listening to yourself. I hate the fucking sound of the voice, too. In my head, my voice sounds so good. I wish that was my actual voice. When I hear a recording, I'm just like, that's what I sound like? What the fuck? Because in my head, I sound so good. Yeah, like I love listening to myself talk.
Well, unfortunately, right now, I am fighting through a little bit of a cold or whatever, so I'm going to be coughing and sniffling a little bit here, but this
shit up, dude. This time of year, like, just got the fucking pellet furnace going.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my big ups to my fucking father-in-law. He's a master Harmon mechanic or whatever.
Nice.
He's not really, but he owned one, so he knows how to work on them. And I couldn't get this fucking dude, and it's dropping down into the 30s at night. And I couldn't get the furnace to start, dude. Like, I cleaned it out, I did all this, but like, you have to take the fucking thing apart and put it back together every season. Yeah. Because ash gets fucking everywhere. But anyways, we fired it up yesterday for the first time. It's fucking so toasty. But dude, all that dries the fuck out of the air. And then you're burning wood pellets, so that's not good.
Yeah.
All the fucking burnt wood particulates in the air. So then this morning, everybody woke up and it felt like we had AIDS. Yeah, we're just like I'm a little bit raspy, but the rest of the kids are just like fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I don't have any like sensitivity to that sort of shit. I was telling Dan yesterday, I was taking some acoustic panels off the wall because I moved where we're going to be recording. And all day long, I'm just spritzing mineral spirits all over the walls. It's falling down in my eyes and in my face. It's odorless mineral spirits. So I'm like, I didn't even think about it. I thought it was like, it sounds like it's good for you. Mineral spirits. It sounds like it's like Fiji water or something. But I'm in there in this enclosed area with no fucking windows, no ventilation, just. And then I found out later that day, like I felt fine, like the fumes, it was odorless, so it didn't like bother me. It didn't smell like it. It smells like water. It's called mineral spirits. But apparently that's how Bob Ross died. Yeah. You know how he used to bang the devil out of his paintbrushes? That was mineral spirits, and it would aerosolize. He breathed it in, and you can get like acute mineral spirit toxicity or something. And you can fucking die from it. So I dodged a bullet there. It didn't bother me. Like, I felt fine until I found out that fact. I should probably look this stuff up before I start spraying myself in the face with chemicals. But I was just like, oh, I wonder if mineral spirits are bad for you. Then yeah, Bob Ross, dude, took them out.
I didn't know that. I'm a huge Bob Ross fan. I had no idea.
Oh yeah,
You told me that yesterday.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's the other thing we should probably mention is we're recording this for the second time. Part of course, we had a little bit of technical difficulty yesterday. We had so much technical difficulty yesterday that we didn't even start recording until 28 takes later. We were trying to fine tune the mics. We had this crazy setup. We had multiple camera angles, we had like 3 fucking computers running, 4 different cameras,
2 different interfaces.
Yeah, dude, it was like, I thought I was fucking, like producing like fucking Price is Right or something,
Yeah.
And then we just couldn't get the audio right. And then we finally thought we got it locked. And then the computer crashed in the first like 8 minutes of recording. So we just like, whatever, we started it back up. And wouldn't you know, after we recorded another hour, it uploaded. The next day I went to go edit it together and the fucking audio was fucked. And I'm not putting out bad audio anymore because when the fucking shit sounds like shit, I get a lot of shit on Friday. Like not just like, I mean, most people are nice, like, oh hey buddy, just want to let you know that Loctite's fucking audio is fucked up. But then there's guys that are just like, my fucking eardrums are bleeding, like this is torturous, that bums me out on a Friday. So I'm going to try to get the best audio quality. But anyways, I had to call Dan and go, I said, hey, broski, all that magic we created yesterday, creating the fucking greatest podcast of all time, is in the toilet bowl. We got to do another recording. But it worked out for the best because, now we have that's why this is not what it's going to look like. All right. I have a lot of production that I have to build into this. I do not want talking heads like this. I want to be able to do more conversational stuff. And also when we have multiple guests, I want to have like a round table, like where you can see everybody's comfortable, everybody's just shooting the breeze. So I'm working on the technical aspects of this, but I just wanted to get this episode out this week. I had all the fucking camera shit locked deep. But then today when I fucking started to prep for this shit, more technical difficulties, all the fucking cameras are not working. And anyways, we're going to get it locked down. We're going to get it better, higher production value. That's part of it is, we want to take the show to the next level. It's not going to just be more of the same. We have great opportunity being in person. I really want to do more in-person interviews. I want to do in-person interviews. If you're interested, if you're in the New England area and you're like, dude, I'll fucking hop on a podcast. I'm in Henniker, New Hampshire. You can come here, come to the studio, and we'll get it figured out for you. But I think that we're going to get better, higher quality interviews out of it. Definitely me and you being in the same room.
Sure.
But having a guest in the same room is going to be crazy, dude. And you guys should, you wish I would give you this guest list that we have. I mean, we only got like 50 names on this thing, but it's just like between the two of us, it was like this fucking person's never been on, this person's never been on. There is an endless amount of interesting people to have on this podcast.
Right.
So, just the people that reached out who were like bummed, like, oh, I didn't get on the podcast. And by the way, the funniest part about last week's episode was the fact that I got like 20 messages asking if Loctite was dead. I went a little too ham with the fucking tombstone.
Yeah, dude, I tell you what.
Yeah, because people weren't listening to it. They just walked. Dude, fucking Fish Tank at like midnight. It was like 12:03, just dropped. And he like hit me up. He thought it was the death of Loctite or the death of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was actually sending me, other people were texting him, like, is Loctite dead? Is he okay?
Like, not for nothing, though. I understand, like, where that would have, like, come from, why you would have thought that. You really think that's how Rhino would have announced that?
That would have been really tacky.
Could you imagine? Luckily, that's not the case.
Yeah. Loctite's dead, and I just play fucking a shitty fucking power ballad and put a bunch of shitty pictures up.
Yeah.
There is doves on the thumbnail.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's not how we would.
No, I probably wouldn't. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even want to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it. But yeah, Loctite's good.
Loctite forever.
Yep. He's sitting at home right now, not recording a podcast for the first time this whole week in 6 years.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
hope that's doing you well.
Yeah.
Hope you're enjoying it.
No stress, just chilling. Probably right now he's probably just having dinner with his family and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Retired podcaster. But he did say that he's going to be back on. He said monthly. We are trying to, right now, we're trying to figure out what our program's going to be because we have different segments and things that we want to get to. So obviously, in person, me and Eldano, that's number one. We want to have in-person guests. So we're going to try to coordinate to get them here. I don't live in the easiest place to get to, but it's a nice drive and the roads aren't covered in ice yet. So you don't have to be a nice road trucker to get here. But we also have some really interesting people that reached out already and were like, hey, I want to get on. Also, by the way, a lot of people reached out that are just fans of the show. They got fucking weird. You know, they're working on like a dirt bike or they have like a couple of projects unfinished or whatever. A couple of the laddies reached out. We have a big list of people. We definitely want to get you on. It's just a matter of when. Like schedule and stuff. People cancel, things move. Sometimes we need last minute guests. Sometimes we might have to book you out like really far. But we're going to try to definitely book people out so you know what's coming too, right? So you can be like, oh, on next week's podcast, we have so-and-so.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, we're just putting together a program. We're trying to just get locked in on the technical stuff and on what we're doing here and get like a rhythm going. But rolling into that, there's some new segments I want to talk about. So obviously, Dan is not going to be here every single week. He's going to be here as much as possible, but he's a busy man. He has a painting business. He has other businesses in play. And he has a young family. You know, he has actually, we had to stop short yesterday because his daughter was sick, right? So he'll be here as often as possible. We'll have Loctite here as often as possible. As often as he wants to get on the show. And then we're gonna definitely continue with the remote interviews. The new stuff is gonna be in-person interviews. Working on things like doing kind of like if you remember Holiday Cheer and Grass-Fed Beers episode where we got a bunch of the homies together and we got shit-faced and we had a good time.
So much.
I definitely want to do more of those. So once we get, we're going to coordinate, get some of the homies together. We're going to do like the round table, even though it's a rectangle, but we're going to figure that out once we get the equipment shit sorted. We're also going to do some virtual garage nights. And the other thing is, I guess the biggest change is when I'm doing the solo shows, and this was kind of my spin-off idea. I was going to create a podcast about low-life history. So things like the origin of a certain motorcycle, right? Like a WLA, like the history around that, or bio on a builder, or an event that happened, like the Hollister riots. And I want to do the research and pick it apart and kind of give out a timeline and have a show called Low Life History, and that'll be part of the rotation. So there's a lot more prep work that goes into that than just drinking Modelo's and shooting the shit with your buddies. So we're going to try to bank some episodes, and once we get to a point where, maybe we're a little bit ahead, I already have a couple of ideas in the can, and I'm going to rotate that in. So hopefully on a monthly basis, I'll do like a Low Life History podcast. But it'll be part of this podcast, right? It'll just be like Low Life, kind of like drunk history. I guess it will be drunk history.
It'll end up.
Yeah. So that's a cool idea. That was something that for the longest time, I had that idea to do. I was going to do, I'll just say it. Originally, it was called Chopper Time Machine.
Mm.
And I was going to do just motorcycle stuff. But I want to do more than just motorcycle stuff. I want to do car stuff. Like me and you were talking about like the Audi rivalry thing. And it's like, oh, that would be a sick one to do, Nefarious deeds, fucking fast cars and shit.
Yeah.
And also just like maybe even some criminals and stuff, like some cool like classes, do some bios. But I'm just a big history guy, so it was just natural for me. I'm really interested in that stuff and I like to learn. So I don't read though. books.
Yeah.
So
I don't. Well, I mean, every once in a while, I'll read.
you read a book,
Every once in a while. Usually,
like a paper book?
every once. In a while.
Oh, okay.
You got one.
I'll listen to it.
I was gonna say I do Audible.
Yeah.
Audible for work or podcast.
I can't sit there and do the book. The only books I read are like books to my kids, and that's pretty difficult for me. Like I'm listening. My daughter reads the books to me now because I'm like, you're better at reading than me.
Yeah, I hear you. And reading an actual book in front of me.
For me, it's hard.
And
I got the OCD thing, so like I'll be reading a page and my mind's just like wandering, thinking about other shit, and then I'll be like on this next page, and I'm like, fuck, I wasn't even paying attention.
I'm just gonna say,
Yeah.
I read every single syllable.
Yeah, I have no idea what I just read.
That happens to me all the time, and that gets frustrating. So I do the Audible stuff, the ebooks or whatever.
Yeah.
I do that. That's cool. I can put that on the truck at work.
Yeah, they got Audible, and then Spotify has some cool shit on there too. And I think, is it Audible Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are some new segments that we're thinking about doing. The other thing is we want to revamp the podcast a bit. We want to revamp the Patreon or people that follow us. I'm working on linking Patreon and Spotify. I want to offer more to those laddies, those $10 a month guys, but also add some tiers, because right now it's basically like pretty much everybody's a $10 tier unless you're a sponsor. There's a couple guys that do 5, a couple guys that do 1, but I want to do a better tiered Patreon that you get stuff when you buy in for lower, So like, I was talking to someone about starting a Discord, having like a Discord admin. I think that's a really great place to start. I want to do bonus content. Me and Dan were talking about, like me and Dan are always at every show. Like if there's a motorcycle thing in New England, we're both there hands down. So it's like we could do some live stuff on there. So things like that, more interactive things. This was actually a suggestion from one of the laddies, was doing like live Q&A and bringing you guys into, like when we do those Q&A episodes that everybody loves, we could actually do, like, if you're a Patreon, you get included, you get the link to the live, maybe some before or after stuff. If we're doing those roundtables, maybe some like pre-recording stuff or after recording stuff. But if you're a Patreon today, or if you hope to become one in the near future, send us a DM. Just let me know like some ideas on what would entice you to come on board, because that is the fuel that is propelling this ship, the Lowlife Podcast. And we want to grow it. I don't want to just have the people that already knew it and then hung around and are like, oh, I guess Dan's fine. I was a Loctite guy, but whatever. I want to make it bigger. I want every Lowlife in the contiguous United States, Puerto Rico, Alaska, fucking where else do we have territories? Even like
Australia.
Yeah, fucking whatever, dude. I want all the Lowlifes to be in this community with us. Because that's what the original mission of the podcast was. And I think it's really important to have a mission statement and live by it, right?
Yeah.
So to do that, the laddies, you guys pay for everything. So we want more laddies. We want more laddies. We should probably change the name of that too, because that came from Lowlifes After Dark. So if you have suggestions on what, I think Lowlifes is fine, but everybody that listens to this is a Lowlife, so what's like one tier above a Lowlife?
Hood rat?
Hood rat, yeah. I think that might be below.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, we'll have to think about it. I mean, just bear with us for a little while. We're figuring this stuff out. We're figuring out the form, function, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
We'll get it ironed out. It's going to be good. If you leave Patreon on Friday, just remember we have your information. You know who you are.
Yeah, that'd be a real kick in the dick.
I'm just kidding. If you got to leave, you got to leave. I get it. I am not afraid to hear criticism. if I'm not loud enough or if I'm not talking enough, or whatever, let me know. Hit me up.
Oh, they'll let.
For sure. If you're gonna be a dick, I'm gonna treat you like a dick. Just put them out there. But yeah, I'm up for constructive criticism. Let me know how this is going. We're doing this stuff for people. You know what I mean? We're doing it for us. This is fun. This is cool, and I get a chance to hang out with my homie at least every time we sit down and do this. But we want to make it worth it for you guys too, especially with the Patreon stuff. When money gets involved, times are tough. We get it. We want it to be worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and so just give us some ideas, because we think we know what you guys might want, but just let us know what you think, or maybe you're involved in a Patreon somewhere else, and like you're really getting a lot of value out of that. I want to bring everybody in on this. And Dan's not afraid to fly, so I can get him out to Born Free or the Midwest or down south. And if we get more Patreon, we can get to those shows further away. So that's the big thing is we want to, like I said, we do all the New England shows, faux show, but like Dan was with me at in Indian Larry Block Party, like we go to Deadbeat together. We go to the fucking further away shows, and I want to get to even further. I want to get down south.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get out Midwest. I want to definitely go to like some of the bigger shows that a lot of people attend, like Fuel Cleveland and all that shit. I'd love to do Born Free,
Sure. Also, Texas and Cap.
It'd be a part of it too, like not just get out there and just fucking walk around and have a free ride. Like I want to set up, I want to vend, I want to be like part of it, do like live stuff on location. So, yeah, so we're going to be, I'm not going to be raising the price of Patreon, so don't worry about that. I'm not going to be jacking it up. I just got to make that tier different. I'm going to make the different tiers different so you can buy in at a lower price and still get some cool shit from us, So I still want to do some giveaways. I still want to do, bonus content, but I want to do a lot more of that. Other things that we're doing is we thought it was really important to just kind of really focus on the content rather than the show. So we wanted to downsize a bit. So, do things a little bit differently and do things maybe a little bit more responsibly. I'm a very impulsive person.
Me too.
So if I'm like, oh, we should have a website, 2 seconds later, I have a website, I have the domain, I have the fucking thing. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I just start doing shit, right?
Do it.
Yeah, I just do it. I'm not afraid to fail. I've been a failure my whole life. So it's okay to fail. So I'm just like, well, fucking just at least try. So, we had the website, never became what I wanted it to be. So I'm scrapping it and we're going to start fresh. This is a good time to just start fresh.
Mm-hmm.
The store was not what we wanted it to be. The merch was not what we wanted it to be. So we just scrapped it. We're starting fresh. And it also, all that other stuff that you have to worry about, you don't have to worry about it, right? So right now we just want to focus on content, taking care of the Patreons, and we're also downsizing our sponsorships, right? Because again, we don't want 20 minutes of the show to be sponsors, right? We don't want such a focus on all that stuff and it's not about making money. It's about having good content, having a good show. And for me and him right now, this is all new hat to us, right? We're like a brand. He's never podcasted before. He's been on a couple times. But we want to focus on the show. So no distractions. We scrapped everything. We're going to need help rebuilding it, but we want to do it responsibly in the right way. So when we get you merch, it's not fucking $30 for a piece of shit t-shirt. You know what I mean? Or the camp mugs were sick. So I definitely think we got to get the camp mugs. But t-shirts, we're looking for local, we want to do USA made, local screen printing, and original art. Right? I don't want to have to do the artwork. I want an actual artist to do it. So I'm not just using clip art and shit. So better things to come on the horizon. We're going to have a better website. We're going to have we actually already had someone reach out and say, hey man, I'll help you out with a website, put it in my portfolio. So, really appreciate the shit out of that. We're going to be reaching out. A lot of people have offered help. I had mentioned before with the Discord. If you want to help in some aspect of the show, definitely hit me up. We would love to have you on board. And if you have a talent, like if you're a web designer, that's a great talent that I don't have fucking time to learn either, by the way. Yeah, definitely. Just back to the sponsors real quick. I just want to thank Weed Motor Co. I want to thank Silver City. I want to thank Burnt Up Wood Burning. We had a conversation. I told them we're just starting fresh. We wanted to just focus on what we have at hand, but we will still be honoring those agreements that we have with the other sponsors. We have gentlemen's agreement with some, we have annual agreements with others, so we're still going to be honoring those. But the month-to-month sponsorships, we said "C'est la vie," and they were all super cool about it. They're like, "Hey, I get it, dude. You got to focus on what you got to focus on," and we don't know what that's going to look in the future. So we're just through the end of the year, we just said, "Hey," me and Dan got down. We said we're going to focus on just content. We're not going to be putting out any merch. We're not going to be putting anything out to make money or whatever for the show. That's all secondary, right? That we want to focus on the content, which this is probably terrible content unless you're like super invested in the show. We're definitely not going to get any new listeners this week because they're like, what the fuck are these retards talking about? Yeah. But, this is what the show is. It's what's going on in our lives. It's, what I keep on, I'm going to do a count. I bet I've said show like fucking 3,000 times. I feel like I said show more this episode than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which, on our first recording, me and you both said, you know what I mean?
I said,
oh, yeah.
I said,
yeah. Is that a New England thing? You know what I mean?
I don't know. That, not for nothing. I say those two.
You say not for nothing. Yeah. Yeah, that's like your catchphrase.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know where that shit comes from. I don't know. So these are all things that I'm working
on. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, for sure. If I'm doing that, let me know. If I say some dumb shit all the time, I hate repetitive stuff. Yeah. Just comes.
You don't even realize it, dude. No. Like that, there was one episode, I forget what the fuck happened, but like between me and Loctite, I did a supercut. It was like fucking 58 times. Just like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Instead of just being silent, I should just be like, wait, yeah, and then that would be better than saying, you know what I mean? Like, am I waiting for you to be like, yes, I know what you mean?
Right.
If I say it, that's what you should say to me.
I will.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I know what you mean. And then it'll be then
nope, that's kind of automatic response anyways. It really is. So yeah, there'll be plenty of things like that for sure.
Yeah. So just again, Burnt Up Wood Burning, Matt, awesome guy. Go over there. Still support him. He supports the fuck out of this show, dude. His son Austin, Silver City Co. Support him. Continue supporting Weed Motor Co. Gaucho's an awesome guy. He has fucking awesome shit. And again, they were super cool. They get it. They get what we're doing. And we just thought it was important to do it that way. But, Lowbrow, Deadbeat Customs, Oxford Co. Chopper, Stay Strong Co. They're all staying on board for the time being, unless they go, not really a fan of the show anymore since Loctite left. Then we'll amicably part ways. But we'll just leave it up to them. Okay, so the other thing is, right now, I took down the old website, I bought the new domain, and I also set up the new emails. So if you want to get in touch with Dan and I, and you're not on Instagram is the easiest way to get a hold of us.
For sure.
I'm on Instagram.
Yep.
I'm just like boobs, like. So I get the messages. I respond to them pretty quickly. It's actually best if you just go to the Lowlife Podcast at the Lowlife Podcast. I don't go on Rhino Resto all that often. So at the Lowlife Podcast on Instagram, or Rhino at thelowlifepodcast.com, or Dan at thelowlifepodcast.com. Those are our emails. So if you're an email guy, and we know that you're out there, we do get emails from time to time. It's so easy. Rhino at or Dan at thelowlifepodcast.com. Same as our domain. But if you are on Instagram, and you're looking at those breastfeeding videos, you weirdo, you just DM me. Dude, there's like a thing, Instagram, if you want to see naked boobs, chicks set up accounts where they just breastfeed. And it's not like against their fucking guidelines. Yeah, it's not against their guidelines because they're breastfeeding a baby, but you get to see bare tits.
I don't need to see bare tits.
I don't need to either. And actually, it's kind of very not sexy because there's a baby.
Well, yeah.
But it's in the feed. I don't know what the fuck. Like, I'm just going down and I'm seeing a nipple, and I'm like, what the fuck am I on the Pornhub app?
Yeah, right. Was this Tumblr?
Yeah. But now it's Instagram, a little loophole. And maybe a hot tip for some perverts out there. It's weird shit. Yeah, dude. So, yeah, we definitely, we have a plan moving forward, have some really cool stuff. Yeah, we're flying by the seat of our fucking pants. But we know what we want to do. We have a good direction. And it's not outside of the low life universe. We're trying to keep it as low life as possible. We know that to justify this every week, we need to be able to achieve things that we want to achieve, right? And something for me is growth. I really want, I met, dude, I'll just use Lex. I met that dude last year. He's just a new listener of the show. And me and him are fucking boys, And I want more of that. That's why I want to get out there. I want to meet new people. I want to get across the country. I want to talk to you guys on fucking Instagram or, pen pals. If you don't have email, I'm not going to post our address. Maybe we should get a PO box. If you do want to pen pal us, that'd be weird. If you're like a Unabomber ass guy and you're like in the fucking mountains of Wyoming or some shit, and you're somehow listening to this on a ham radio, a pirated signal,
putting on lipstick.
Yeah, and you want to get in touch with Dan, then I'll give you his home address. No, we should get a PO box though. Other things we're going to talk about, some other events coming up. So we've decided that the Low Life Lowdown is retired. So we will do a show, hopefully this spring or summer, if we have time to do that. We want to coordinate another chopper show or motorcycle show. But it won't be the Low Life Lowdown. It'll be something totally new, totally different, in a totally different. We're not going to have the same place. We're not going to have the same, name. But we definitely still want to do a spring or summer show. The other thing that we're thinking about doing that we both really want to do is a Low Life camp out, motorcycles only. Run what you run. No cops, no chase vehicles. Not that, I love camping and having a fucking truck full of, with a cooler full of beer. Yeah. I like going to Deadbeat at the Blackthorn Resort and having fucking AC. Yeah. And a fucking shake tub. But there's something missing, and it's exclusivity. And I've always liked the idea of doing a camp out that's motorcycles only. Strap your shit to the back of your motorcycle, strap your beer to the back of the motorcycle, go somewhere remote. And that's something that I really want to get done this summer is, yes, have a show where you show bikes and shit like that. But I also want to do a camp out, a low life camp out. And no, your Subaru won't even fit here. I'm going to make sure that the entrance to the place that we're camping is 2 huge boulders that only a motorcycle can get through. Just keep it honest. Like, hey, I'll camp with you. I'll camp with you at fucking Deadbeat Retreat. I'll camp with you, whenever, if you're pulling up in your Outback. But this is just going to be a camp out. Yeah. Just motorcycles.
I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that would be a blast. Anybody knows of a spot in New England, realistically, that maybe you own a nice big plot of land somewhere out in Vermont or whatever, and you don't mind having a couple 1,500 lowlifes show up and eventually tear it up.
Yeah, private property would be dope. If you have private property in New Hampshire, let me know if you want to host both our summer gig and the camp out. Yeah. We'll do 2 there. Yeah. I'll pay you.
I was going to say, yeah, we'll obviously compensate you and
make sure nobody gets that too out of hand. I'll have insurance and shit. But yeah, both those shows, the new show for the Lowlife Podcast and the camp out, I would love to do private property. Actually, what Derek, I think, sent me like way back, because this is something I've been talking about for like a year.
Yeah.
But he sent me something up the White Mountains, I believe, where there's literally like a path that has 2 boulders that you have to get motion.
Sick.
Yeah. So he has like a camp spot. I don't know if it's public. I think it's a public camping area or whatever, but something to think about.
Yeah. I like that. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Definitely. Dude, if you have a wide open field that you want that people can do burnouts on and shit and people can get wild, I will throw the biggest fucking rager this summer. Like, I'm going to be up at the front in case the cops get called so I can tell them to fuck off. Yeah, like, I'm not even going to be at the show. I'm just going to wait for cops to be like, private property, get a warrant.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. And we're not even talking like burn the fucking forest.
No, we just want to set off fireworks,
right,
do burnouts, and fucking do drugs and shit, and not have fucking someone coming by in a fucking golf cart being like, even now it's 10 o'clock or something stupid, you know?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, and I definitely love, it would be awesome. I'm getting, like, if we, maybe that's our summer show. Maybe that's this camp out summer. I mean, I want something for everybody, but goddamn, it would be so cool to do a weekend thing.
Yeah.
Where you go and you have at least one day. Like, let's just say it's like you get there on Friday and you leave on Sunday. And it's just a big open field full of weirdos. That'd be sick.
For sure.
So anyways, I'd love to do something like that.
Yep.
If you have any ideas, definitely hit me up. Like, I'm not a fucking event planner at all. But if you're like some people, dude, they'll hit me up and they'll be like, oh yeah, I went to my fucking cousin's wedding at this place, and it was like, they were super chill and it was super cool. Like, if you have a place that we could do it at, that would be super cool. I would do it at my own house, except I live on a hill. Like, there's no flat spots. You couldn't park a bike. Yeah. I live on a mountain, so like you'd park your bike and the bikes would just roll down into the forest. Yeah. The other thing we will be doing, but we're going to be renaming it, the Chop Luck. I just love that time of year. Most people have like a Friendsgiving. We've had the Chop Luck, but we want to do something similar. I think we're going to call it Lowlife Leftovers, and it's probably going to be the week after Thanksgiving or something like that. And we're going to do a garage potluck, either at my house or somewhere else. But we're going to figure out where we're going to do it. But those are always super fun. I love meeting all the people that come to them. And the coolest part is Jean-Luc usually comes out.
Yeah, he does.
Now we'll get him out of Jersey. I haven't seen that boy since the summertime.
Yeah.
And I'm missing him. So, yeah, Lowlife Leftovers or something like that. We're going to do like after, after next month, early, do something.
Between
something holiday shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe we'll do like a charity thing. Maybe we'll do a Secret Santa or some shit. But that's just a good time of year when, like, yeah, you get the holidays and stuff. There's lots of family shit. And sometimes it's nice to be like, I gotta go fuck off with my pals.
100%.
And I'll do fucking family shit. I don't want to talk to Aunt Janine anymore. I don't want to pretend like I like eating cold cuts that have been sitting out on this fucking table when it's 85 degrees in here.
Calling it a charcuterie board.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks like your fucking prosciutto is sweating. So unappetizing, dude. When you go to those fucking things, they just have, it's just like cheese. They crank, first of all, everybody's in sweaters. They crank the fucking heat up so nobody's chilly. It's like 80 degrees inside. Everybody's sweating buckets. And then you just see all this wet meat and cheese sitting out. Yeah, but they have to put it out even before the guests got there. It has to be there. So it's just sitting out, just sweating.
And nowadays it's like $200 worth of meat.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yes. Yeah, so then after the party, they put it back in the refrigerator and fry the fucking shit.
That's what we do at home. My wife makes killer charcuterie boards and eat the shit.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like that, like if it's like a salami or a pepperoni or something, that shit is not going bad.
No. I'm putting that.
But I'm talking like, dude, like at my family, they'll put like just they'll roll a roll of ham. Like just like rolled ham.
Oh shit.
And you're supposed to just take this ham with your fingers and do it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't go to fucking family things anymore because of that shit.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we do have we talked about the shows that we're doing, but we do have some shows coming up that we want to shout out.
Yeah, we're still going to keep doing that. And it's not just going to be chopper shows and shit too. It's going to be adjacent shit. If there's a cool hardcore show or whatever coming up around here, I'll put that out. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting people to come from out of town to go to a hardcore show in Manchester. But if you're around here, we're big on support between Rhino and I as human beings. We're big on supporting people. We want to support and showcase people who are doing cool shit, people who are going against the grain, that are outside the norm, not living the 9-to-5 white picket fence, 2.5 kid SUV life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're going to put up, whatever. If there's a maker's fair or, whatever. We'll put that shit out there. You don't have to go to it.
Yeah. And even not local stuff, like if you're in, that's one thing that we've always neglected. We're very New England centric. We're New England.
Well, I mean, it's a gym.
Yeah. Yeah. True. But we have a lot of people down south, out east, out west. We have people in different countries even. I saw something from a fucking a motorcycle show in British Columbia that looked fucking insane.
Oh, Roll the Bones?
Yeah. Dude, is it Roll the Bones?
Roll the Bones is in Canada.
Okay.
I think we should. But either way, I think it's Roll the Bones. That looked like fucking killer shit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Chase.
Congregation show looks sick. All that stuff. So we'll be putting those big ones out there too.
Yeah.
If you have something going on in your hood, or you're putting something on, or you know of something or whatever, let us know.
Yeah.
It up there.
And there's a million fucking things, so we might not be able to get to everything every week.
Yeah.
But if you have definitely motorcycle shows we want to shout out, definitely if you have anything in the area that you're involved in, that would be, we're more than happy to shout it out, get people involved in it. Just send us the deets.
Yeah.
Send us the deets.
Let us know.
What are those shows that we have coming up in our area, Dan?
The first one we got in our area on October 26th at 8 p.m. is the Lost Spot Halloween party. I've gone the last, I think, 3 years, and it's always a fucking blast. It's killer. Some of the costumes are just you won't believe it. It's awesome. Killer shop. Hit up at 69 Speedco on Instagram. Follow F69W, which is the Lost Spot page, to get all the updates and stuff like that. If you need address and all that other stuff, hit them up. As far as
did you say the F69W? You said that quick. Oh shit, dude! I was like, did you just say that one? I know, but to say it with the numbers in between, that was impressive.
Got something going on. The next one isn't in our area, but is an important one. Born Free Texas this weekend. Yep, down in Texas.
Some aviators.
For real. So a couple things we wanted to just shout out. Again, some local stuff. EasyCo. Those dudes built a killer shovel chop to put in that CeeLo scramble. That's such a nuts. I can't see how that sit down. I genuinely cannot.
Imagine being a part of that.
Dude.
That's so fun.
Nerve-wracking, but I really can't wait to see how that shakes out and how Dan has that, how he has it all set up.
I love the ideas like that, just fucking off the wall idea.
That's gnarly. That's crazy. Hey, build this whole
That's a fucking, and CeeLo too.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like a poker game.
Right.
You roll the fucking dice, and sometimes you're going to get fucking triple ones,
For sure. Crazy. But super cool idea. I absolutely love that. So, if you're out there, go check out that bike. That bike they built is sick. And then another one that's out there from our area, Bone Orchard Cycles. Ryan's got his bike down there at Knuckle he built. He's an invited builder. If you're out there, go see it. That thing is unreal. Unbelievable. So if you're out in the Texas area, if you're heading out that way or whatever, get out to Born Free Texas and definitely support those dudes and everybody else who's an invited builder.
Yeah, we're talking right before that we started recording about Bone Orchard, and you can tell when someone's like a craftsman, when they mock up their build. Like I mock up my build and like parts of it are not like the powder coat is still on the front half, and then I got the rusted hardtail welded in, and like fucking the wheels are not right. I got like the original one on the front. But when you look at a guy that really knows what he's doing, the frame's all one color gray. All the welds are perfect. There's no rainbows or anything. Like it's all like, it's just like perfect. And it's like a blank slate and everything fits perfectly. And you're like, oh my God, that's what I aspire to be. I want to get to the point where I'm so locked in that things just go in, and it's not like they don't have oil all over them leaking out. Like things are just like nice and clean, and you put them together and you assemble. That's the difference between like a fucking mechanic, a fucking ape, like banging on shit, or someone way out of their depth like me, and like someone that knows what they're doing and respects it enough to like do it the right way.
100%. I was blown away just the way he shipped the Springer. Absolutely unbelievable. He makes the boxes that they go in. They're all
the little details.
Unbelievable. I've shipped painted tanks and helmets and shit, and like literally wrapped them in stuff and paper and whatever else I could find. Bubble wrap maybe sometimes. And the way he shipped that Springer, man, it's just I really don't get you doing this. I got out my shit. It could get a little more legit here. So
yeah, he does like the scorching on the outside and like
burns
like that in and of itself. The packaging is like a fucking work.
I'm keeping the box with the Springer.
Yeah, you can't throw it out. You're not gonna make it into fucking fire.
It's gonna be a shelf or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys are out there in Texas, get out there. Two very, very cool New England bikes, but I mean, there's gonna be a million cool bikes. So go check it out. Support the builders, the vendors, and all that stuff. But as far as coming up stuff, it's really
yeah. I think that's about it. At this point, I think we should shout out our remaining sponsors. Deadbeat Customs. Steve over at Deadbeat Customs is all about grassroots motorcycle riders who take it upon themselves to build and customize their bike. They offer parts for all Harley-Davidson models and also offer custom parts for choppers, bobbers, trackers, and cafe racers. When it comes to building a motorcycle, they carry the best brands available. Go visit their brick and mortar store in Tewksbury, Mass, or at deadbeatcustoms.com and enter code LOWLIFE at checkout to save some money. Lowbrow Customs. Tyler and his team not only work hard to supply motorcycle enthusiasts with cool parts from small shops all around the world for over 20 years, but they also keep on innovating and creating new parts and accessories, getting them out on the road. They are the #1 source for custom and chopper parts for your motorcycle. Go visit lowbrowcustoms.com today. Stay Strong Co. Jean-Luc has been sent down from the heavens to bless us lowlifes with the greatest hot sauces in this mortal plane. Sweet heat baby Jesus in the white pants heralds a message from God himself. Don't put this on your pee-pee. It's for your mouth. The shits. In the hotter than hellfire, lowlife chopper sauce. Go to staystrongco.org today and grab yourself the holy trinity of hot sauces. Oxford Co. Choppers. Chris is the original bad boy from Oxford, Connecticut. From frame restoration and repair to handlebars and hardtails, hard parts for hard men. His hardtails are expertly TIG welded and installed in-house. Made of USA-made steel with cast axle plates, he is your man for the hardest shit to hit the East Coast since Hurricane Bob. Find him on Instagram at oxfordco.choppers. Thanks for sticking around. Go support our sponsors. We have a new segment that we're going to be introducing. I love it.
So, those of you who know me know that I suck at it, but I like playing CeeLo. So, one of my ideas is that anytime we do an episode, right, we'll do one round of CeeLo, at least one round of CeeLo. And kind of like an episode champion type deal. You know what I'm saying? So,
I was going to say we should get a CeeLo
board. I'll bring mine for sure. So we'll have a board. And that way, it's one thing that's just me and Rhino, right? We're going to throw down a one and we're going to do one round of CeeLo. But when we have round tables and stuff, we have a lot of people here. I mean, that can be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe do a big pot, some high rollers.
Yeah, dude.
That's real. That's not fake, baby.
$1.
I'm fucking actually just. We're gonna get a fucking seal.
There you go. Hell yeah. Cool. You want to go first or you?
You go first. Huh?
Six, baby. 156.
Golden bones.
Fuck off. Triple ones, you son of a bitch.
I'm $1 richer.
All right. Episode champion.
That's fun.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Don't spend it all in one place, huh?
I know. I'm gonna get some high rollers in here. We'll do like fucking. We'll get some fucking people drunk round table and do $20 ones.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good week.
Yeah. So there's that. And then the last thing, something that I'm going to do every time I'm on, buddy check. So the one thing I'm going to ask you to do is at least one friend you don't talk to every single day, reach out to see how they're doing. Even if you talk to me every single day, hit up all your friends. Check on people. Times are tough. Motherfuckers are dropping like flies, man. Take care of your people, including yourself. If you need help, reach out. Tell your friends you love them. Like in person. I don't give a fuck. Let me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Tell your friends you love them. Take care of your people. Do a buddy check for me. Takes 2 seconds. You never know. You can say something.
See what they're doing this weekend, man. It's fucking Friday, you know? We're fucking low lives. We're not scumbags. Help each other out. So, with that all said, hope you guys, I know this is a weird episode, and I promise you it's only going to get better from here, okay? We got a lot of ideas. So please stick around, support your boys. But until next week, roll the dice, get in trouble, have fun, and never stop chopping.